What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Sandra, and we're returning to the long play album, 1985. Thank you again to Chafic. And even though I've reacted to the single version of I'll Never Be Maria Magdalena, Chafic and a couple others mentioned that the album version here actually has an extra minute and a half, is in some ways notably different from the single version, so we're going to listen to this. Yeah, I enjoyed the single version of the track when I went through that compilation of Sandra singles, so happy to hear an extended version of it, if you will. So let's give it a listen. This is Sandra. The track is I'll Never Be Maria Magdalena, and it's the album version from 1985's The Long Play. feel like that was literally exactly where it had to fade. Do I have it on repeat? I'm not sure I don't have it on repeat. I don't. So yes, definitely a longer and more sonically dynamic journey than the single cut, which I think that extended section, like, I don't know, 50 to 70% into the tune, it was like basically the first part of the second half of the tune. As far as I can tell, that's the major point of difference. I will say, like, hearing it again now and not remembering, I'm assuming that's Cretu on the male vocals, which I say because I know he produced this album, and I probably asked the same thing when I reacted to the single version, but yeah, it's been a while, so I didn't remember, but assuming that's him, what I was thinking as that played out this time is that, this is 85, if you combined a mid-80s Madonna tune sonically, and especially as it got to the very end with the, I think, Cretu vocals, where he was getting more expressive and flourishing with his vocals, if you combined a mid-80s Madonna tune with a mid-80s Alphaville tune, it might sound something like this. Like, I felt like there were some sonic elements that reminded me of the first couple Madonna albums, as well as the early Alphaville stuff. In particular, as I said, when you get to the male vocal really flourishing at the end of the tune, I could hear Marion singing something like that. So yeah, and those are both references that I'm very fond of. So when I make that comparison, if other people aren't fond of either of those two artists / band, then no worries, I get that. But at the same time, yeah, for me, like, that's a very good thing that it sounds that way. I do love the chorus. I love that fast, like, keyboard line. I enjoy the, like, orchestra synth hits, which give it a sense of drama and, like, intensity when those parts come. And yeah, I think the chorus is just well written. I think it really, like, works melodically, so to speak. So yeah, a top tune. Glad to hear the album version. Once again, shout out to Chafic and all the folks following the Sandra journey. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.